The surviving suspect in the Boston terror attack is starting to tell authorities what he knows about last week's deadly bombings.
A U.S. government source says Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has indicated to investigators that his now deceased older brother was the driving force. The source says Tsarnaev also indicated that no international terrorist groups were involved in the attack. 3 people were killed and more than 170 were injured.
People cheered when he was caught. Many said they were glad he survived to face justice. That justice came to his hospital bedside on Monday when charges were read. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev was still in a serious condition, but able to communicate. A magistrate asked if he understood his rights and the charges. He nodded. At one point, when asked if he could afford a lawyer, he answered no. The magistrate concluded, "I find that the defendant is alert, mentally competent and lucid." Outside, the city stood silent, to mourn its dead and remember those whose lives will never be the same again. Shock turned to grief.
In Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., silence to mark the moment 1 week ago when cheers of encouragement turned into screams of panic. Federal investigators say they have surveillance tape and plenty of pictures of the 2 suspects, Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, walking into the crowd, dropping backpacks, and walking away. Tamerlan later killed after a shootout with police. Dzhokhar was found wounded. According to the criminal complaint, he had been shot in the head, neck, legs, and hand. Now charged with using a weapon of mass destruction and malicious destruction of property resulting in death. A conviction could bring the death penalty. From his hospital bed, hearing the charges, getting access to a lawyer, and that has some U.S. lawmakers outraged. They want him treated as an enemy combatant.
What I'm worried about is what does this individual know about future attacks or terrorist organizations that may be in our midst. We have the right to gather intelligence. Under the criminal system, you should not question someone without their lawyer present.
By declaring him an enemy combatant, there would be virtually, at least for 30 days, almost unlimited interrogation.
Listen, the family's going through a lot. It's a very difficult time for the family. As you can imagine, it's very difficult. She has a little baby upstairs. It's a very difficult time.
As investigators scoured the boat where he was found, the Obama administration dismissed calls for the accused to be treated as an enemy combatant, saying as a naturalized US citizen, he must face a civilian criminal trial.
We will prosecute this terrorist through our civilian system of justice. Under US law, United States citizens cannot be tried in military commissions.
It came shortly after the funeral had taken place for 29-year-old Christelle Campbell, one of 3 people killed in the attack, which also injured more than 170 others. A memorial service will be held later for Chinese graduate student Lu Lingzi, who also died in the blast. No date has yet been set for the bombing's youngest fatality, Martin Richard.
Carney defended an FBI investigation of Tamerlan Tsarnaev 2 years ago. Carney said officials interviewed him and members of his family, but found no evidence of terrorist activity.
Well, our daughter ran in the marathon, and she finished 9 minutes before the bomb, the first bomb, and it just floors you.
It's important just to look at this and take it all in, because they are going to have to open Boylston Street and we are going to have to go back to normal, but to take all these memorials and take all these people's emotions in one place is really important, I think, as a city, to just be able to just be together for a minute.
29-year-old restaurant worker Christelle Campbell was laid to rest following a wake attended by hundreds of people prior to the service. Miss Campbell had joined the crowds at the finish line to cheer on a friend. Her parents were initially told mistakenly that their daughter was alive. They say that their hearts are broken, and across the city it's a sentiment shared by so many more.